We are officially live over here on FB, aka Facebook. Hello to my peoples, as well as YouTube, better known as YT. Oh, and we're also live in the 5M Fellowship group today as well. If you're not familiar with that, all you got to do is go over to Facebook and just type in the 5M Fellowship, and you're going to see a Facebook group. I would absolutely love it if you get the opportunity to join that Facebook group, because this 5M experience is really dedicated to sharing this experience, the experience of music, the experience of movement, the experience of mindfulness, meditation, mantra. Speak of mindfulness, wonder if the brother Mindful Wizard is around. Interviewed this brother the other day on the AP morning show. Mindful Wizard. In fact, let me see if I can. I can't pull up his pic here. For everybody that's watching with me on Facebook, I'm over here on Clubhouse. It's an audio chat app that you should download. I'll tell you more about that a little bit later. And so, yeah, always looking forward to these experiences because of the fact that I get the opportunity to not only hang out with my peeps, which is something that I enjoy doing anyway, but I also get to share in my experience of self-care. And that for me is exciting because since I've been on this self-care journey over the last couple of years, 2019 for this particular phase, this 10% happier phase, I've enjoyed being able to share my journey from day to day in various ways. Video, audio, text, pics. So I'm grateful for all of you. Facebook user says morning. So that's interesting. You're the first Facebook user, actual name, that I've met. Pleasure to meet you. So what is stress resilience? That's the topic for today. What is stress resilience? I want to say hello again to Gulam. Hello to Esther. Hello to Clarissa. Hello to everybody that's hanging out on FB, YouTube. Anthony, what's happening, family? Facebook user now termed Anthony says, what's up? Good morning, Sherry. Thank you for hanging out. And so we are here, and I'm grateful for you being with me. This is the 5M Fellowship, and today's topic is what is stress resilience? If you want to hang out with me on Facebook, I'm at Aaron Hill TV. Stress is something that we deal with day in and day out, various ways. We deal with it, we feel it in different ways, and we also deal with it in different ways. Some ways that are helpful, some ways that are not. For the most part, we're just doing what we're doing, trying to make it through one day at a time. So one of my favorite things is the ability to have conversations around things that are common like this to help us to get through one day at a time, one moment at a time, one experience at a time. So the question for today that we'll be talking about, and I'll even be sharing some information on, is what is stress resilience? But before we get into that, we have several other things that we're going to dive into in this experience of music, movement, meditation, mindfulness, and mantra. So the funny thing is this experience is called 5M, but really it could be called 6M, but I like 5. It'll be 5 and then a bonus. So the bonus, which to me is probably my favorite part, arguably, is the first aspect of this experience, the meeting up, put it that way, like you meet up with your friends. And so to be able to meet up with my friends and say hello is something that I really enjoy doing. Checking in, seeing how you're doing, seeing how you are, seeing how your mom and am. Good morning, Denise Owens. Denise says, good morning. Thanks so much for hanging out. Anthony says, don't know why it says Facebook user. Yeah, I don't know, bro. And so enjoying that time with my friends is something that I just live for. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to not break my phone. How about that? I'm going to open up this experience and say what's up to my friends. So if there's anybody on Clubhouse who would like to come to the stage, just want to say good morning to you, see how you're doing. We're dealing with this topic of stress. All of us have it in some shape, form, or fashion. But my goal is to create experiences where it's about de-stressing and decompressing. So, yeah, I'd like to open up the stage. Gulam, Clirsha, Esther, if you'd like to come up to the stage, by all means, you can. I'd love to say good morning to you at this 10 a.m. hour. And if not, and you would rather continue just hanging out, you might be working, this might be your meditative background, by all means. All good. Kudos. Yes. See, so Esther's coming on up. Cool beans, as they say, cool beans. Cool beans. Good morning, Esther.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am well. I think you could probably tell. I'm definitely well.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm good. I mean, I always look forward to this experience, and I've had a great weekend. I've had a great week, really leading to a great weekend. So, yeah, I'm just glad to be here. How about you? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Just along with you, I'm listening to your music in the background as well. I love to start my morning off with some soft music. I don't play as well as you, but I play a little.
I don't like when people say that. I don't play as well as you. What does that mean?
Because you have years of just learning the proper way of playing. I started that way, and then later I just learned playing by chords.
So here's a question for you. Okay. When you play, I think I actually, so you play piano?
Yes.
Okay. That's beautiful. Oh my goodness. I don't think I knew that until, did I know that? I'm trying to think. For some reason, it seems familiar, but I don't think I knew that until just right now. Cool. Well, first of all, piano player to piano player. Nice to meet you, Esther, again.
Yeah.
So I understand the direction you're going in, right? But I have a question for you, though. The question is, when you play, do you play from your heart?
Yes.
So that's why I asked the question when you said, that's why I said, I don't like when people say that. Because the thing is, I understand what you're saying on a technical level, but on like just a expression level, you and I on the same level. Like we're coming from the same place. And that's how I feel about everybody who's someone who, whether they have a theory background or not, whether they learn from going to school or they learn from, being able to look over the shoulder of the organist in church and maybe they got lessons from that person or not, or whatever. Like, I'm just like, we come to this place where the information is one thing, but music is just music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're playing from your heart, then man, I could feel that no matter where you are on the spectrum. In fact, there's some people who I can feel more because they play from their heart and they know less than people that are way more academically accomplished than them. So,
Right.
yeah. So you, so you and I, we play from our heart, and that to me makes us equal in some major degree, especially with as far as I've gone. And the more I learn, it's like and the more I'm set free into that. So yeah, we playing from our heart, Esther.
Yes.
Oh man, did you have a good Saturday?
I did. I'm just preparing myself for some things that I'm planning on doing in the future, and just trying to get my head in there and to make sure that I do the best that I can. I don't, be, skimping on anything, or just trying to make sure that I do everything that I need to do. So
no doubt, I know the to-dos. So I have a question for you. I don't want to reset the room once again. Say good morning to Gulam, Sherry, and Clarissa, and of course Esther. And so this is the question of the day. And what we're going to do during this meeting time for everyone is start pondering on that question that's above our heads there. What is stress resilience? Start pondering on that question. What is stress resilience? And what it means to you. We're going to meet during this first portion. Just maybe answer a few or speak for a few about how it feels to you, or what does that mean to you? How do you answer that question? And then we're going to go into the movement section, which is going to be a bit of a guided meditation. So yeah, so you're welcome to come to the stage so that we can all participate. When you come to the stage, go ahead and mute your mic, please. And if you like to just if you want to come on up to be a part of that, by all means. So Esther, when you think about that, what is stress resilience to you? Or let me leave it there. What is, when you see that question, how does it speak to you, or does it speak to you? And if so, how?
It makes me think of the times that I might, because I love worship, and so I'll sit and just a little bit with soft music, sing worship to God, just to relieve any anxiety, stressful situation, to calm myself, get myself in the right mind to know that it's okay. Sometimes you are stressed, and because you keep going, you don't realize that sometimes your body reacts to the fact that you're ignoring the things that are piling on, and it's time to just sit. And sometimes with me, just sit in and relax and process some of what I might be dealing with. And my best way is just to maybe even sometimes sit quietly, take deep breaths.
Right. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. That definitely to me speaks about just knowing who you are and what helps you. What helps you to be able to hang in there. To be able to move another day, to be able to move another moment forward. And so I love that. And I love what you said. I understand what you mean when you say worship, and how it takes you to that place to build that resilience, to hold on, to have that faith. That's a beautiful thing. I want to say good morning to Gulam. Am I pronouncing your name right?
I love the way you pronounce it. I usually say Gulam, but easy voice, so you make it sound very, very nice.
Wow. Okay, wait a minute. So this is you have different firsts in life. This is a first where in my trying the best I can has said someone's name in a way that was different, but they actually liked the way I said it even more. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I happen to put the long A at the end for some reason. Gulam. Wow. I feel special already. It is nice to meet you.
And you. So I'm in London.
Wow, you're in London.
Sure. Yes, I'm based in London. I'm a grief recovery specialist.
Yes.
I love helping people who are going through grief because I went through so much of it and got stuck myself.
Right.
I love to do that. So I like to really encourage people to build emotional resilience for tough times.
Yes.
And so I'm very interested to see if there are, different views and things I can add to what I already do. So that's why I kind of thought, let me go and check out this room.
Oh, this is super exciting.
Sherry here. Hi,
yes,
Sherry.
yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. yes. Okay, so now you just made me happy twice. Okay, you already made my morning. You like the way I pronounce your name, and you deal with grief and helping people to deal with resilience. And you're open-minded and always looking for other perspectives to add on, to learn and grow. Did I get that? Ghulam?
Yes.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Exactly right. That's right. Yes.
Okay. So I'm excited because where that meets me is that I have a lesson for today, a sharing, I like to call it more so, that's called Stress Resilience is a Skill. And I'm going to share in a few after we move through the movement and I'm going to actually play the piano for you all in a few minutes too. We move through the musical part of this experience, and I'm going to share on that topic. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts because based off of what you just said, I already know that it's going to be a great conversation. So good morning to you, and pleasure to meet you and to speak with you for the first time. I know you've been in the room a few times, but it's a pleasure to hear your voice for the first time. Yes. So I also want to say good morning to Sherry and Sherry. That's a first as well. Never had two people in my room with the same name and back to back. So this is fun. If you all want to ping someone in, by all means, you can. And again, if you like to come to the stage, by all means, that's fine. We're getting ready to go into the meditative segment of this experience. And so if you like to ping someone in who you think would really enjoy this experience, by all means. This meditation, by the way, that you're hearing in the background, the piano, this is my original song that's called Breath of Life. So if you like this song or any of the other music that you hear during this experience, then you can get right to it by just clicking on my Instagram bio, and you'll see a link there that says all my music, and you'll see these experiences, key reflections, and serenades, piano serenades. My newest album, where this come from, this exact track, is the Serenade Volume 12. You'll see that there, and it's also on your music services as well. So stress is something that we deal with every day in some shape, way, fashion, some formula, something, some way. It's just what it is. And we find different ways to deal with it. We have ways that are healthy, and we have ways that are not so healthy. It's really what it boils down to. One of the things that I say is that the way that you can tell whether an activity is healthy or not is not by the activity. It's about the mindset, the intention, where the mind was right before the activity, right before the happening. Because that's where you can see what it's rooted in. What's the foundation of it? What's the source of it? So with that, when we deal with stress and then we deal with the different activities that we do to de-stress, there's just different things that fall into different categories. but they're really only two. Really is a black and white issue. It's just that it either falls in a place where it's healthy for you and at that particular time or not. But if you look at the motivation, you'll be able to tell whether the activity was healthy or not. The de-stressor. So it's things like, are you taking a drink because life is great and you just want to add a little bit of spice on top? Or are you taking the drink because you can't take life? Are you hanging out with this person because of the fact that they make your experience better, you're enjoying life, they help you to de-stress? Or is it exactly the opposite? They really add to the stress of your life. They're triggers. There are different things that we do for different reasons to relieve stress. One of the things that's most accessible in all the reasons, and there are many reasons, many things that we can do. One of the most amazing things is that the easiest way to de-stress is literally, pun intended, just a breath away. Just the fact that the very thing that even during that pause I had to do to stay alive is right there. A breath. And so the fact that it's so close, it's so intimate to us, it affords us the opportunity to lean into it just a little bit more. Then we're already doing just by doing it to stay alive, whether we think about it or not. It's the ability to lean into a deep breath, a breath for that matter, and a deep one if you got it in you. So I realized at one point that I was breathing very shallow, and it was because of the extremes that I just mentioned. It was because of being overly excited about the new opportunity and also overly anxious about the loss or about the change of pace. But it would put me in a place and in a space where I wasn't giving enough space to my lungs regularly, moment to moment. I was breathing very, very shallow. The most amazing thing about breathing, though, and changing that pattern even, is that it doesn't take anything but just the ability to notice it, just to be aware of it, that you're actually doing it. And then to go from there to be intentional about doing something else. So now I breathe deeply. Now I really take in the breath of life. So I want to invite you to just breathe along with me as I continue to breathe, but as I do it deeply. One of the ways to take it in really fully is to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. To inhale through the nose and to exhale through the mouth. is something, because once I started allowing myself to take those deep breaths, I realized, like, wow, this is a very easy way to just slow my day down. This is a very easy way to slow my moment down. This is a very easy way to slow the jarring traffic down. It's also a way to give my body more oxygen, more blood, allowing it to move to more places. Spaces I wasn't even aware of, just by taking a deep breath. Is the most foundational aspect of living. You can't get the job done if you're not breathing. You can't run the marathon if you're not breathing. You can't be with your relatives, hanging out, having fun, if you're not breathing. So the fact that it's right there with us at all times, and all that we need to do is to just be reminded of it from time to time. We can take advantage of it and use it to benefit us in various ways. So the next time you're under all that stress and you need to just get away, go ahead and get away by just taking a deep breath. And you can let it go. And move to your next moment. And so I want to take a moment to just kind of refresh. Say good morning to Stephen, again, Sherry, Goodall, Sherry, Thompson, Gulam, Esther, and all my peeps, everyone that's hanging out on Facebook and on YouTube. Want to say hello to you. Hello, Denise. Hello, Eunice. Hello, Denise. Okay, so now we got the serendipity. I got 2 Denises on Facebook and 2 Sherrys on Clubhouse. I can't make this up. I promise you, I can't make this up. And so I want to check in and see, how did that feel? Just taking a moment to breathe deeply. Esther, Gulam, and if anyone else wants to come to the stage right before we move on to the musical portion, just want to do a quick check-in to see how you feel.
I feel very relaxed and just
on Clubhouse. He invited us to come to the stage.
Like, no, I love those moments. Look, don't worry, Sherry, because actually very, very soon they're going to have auto mute. So that way we won't have to worry about it. Yep. And look, from a musical and engineering perspective, they're realizing, oh wow, duh, like that should have been how it was from default. But no, you're fine. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. So Esther, you were saying that it really made you feel relaxed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the way that I like to start my day anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so this, you know, was an addition to my morning of just taking those, like you said, as far as taking those deep breaths, because sometimes we don't know how beneficial it is to take in that fresh breath and breathe out all the negativity that might be there. It's a cleansing of the air,
right?
You know, cleansing the inside of you. So I love that, you know. So I feel really good.
That's powerful. You know, one of the things, so I'm such a crybaby when it comes to just beautiful moments, you know, moments of realization, moments of affirmations and confirmations and all the Asians, right? And so while I was sitting there in that, it dawned on me, because I'm always like aware on different levels, like I'm in what I'm doing and there's another part of my mind that's also imagining and observing the observer and all this kind of stuff. And so one of the things that happened was it dawned on me something that keeps occurring to me, and the more frequently it occurs, the more I realize, like, this is something, like I'm connecting with something, I'm on something, I'm realizing something, and I start paying more attention to it, and then boom. So in doing guided meditations, you know, we do guided meditations, those of us that, you know, are people who record them and release them, you know, sharing them. We do them around a variety of subjects. My very first one, which is called Breathe Deeply, and it's over this Breath of Life piano track that I've been telling you all about. This was my first one. It was around the breath. And then from there, I was starting to brainstorm on other topics. I'll do a million meditations that are on things like compassion and kindness and equanimity and interoception and all these kind of things. But one of the things that keeps occurring to me is that I could literally never do any other topic of conversation ever again in life around guided meditation other than breathing and taking a deep breath. And it would never, ever, ever get old. And it dawned on me in this moment that that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do both. You know, I'm going to do just ongoing meditations that are just around breathing, as well as the other meditations that are around other subjects. But this is a lane all by itself. And then everything else is just like all these other categories. So anyway, you know, I don't know if you know, if that resonated with you, but it just, yeah, you made me think of that with what you were just saying. Jeffrey Allen says, breathe in that fresh Prada. I love that. I love it. Yes. So Esther, that touched me in that way. Ghulam, did you have anything? I'm curious. How do you feel? How did that feel? That meditation.
I just love your voice.
Oh my goodness.
I could just sit here and listen to it and just get relaxed. And it was really good to be reminded to breathe. And you say that's your music that you've written?
Yes, this is my music. Yes, this is my original music in the background. And thank you so much.
Yeah, really fantastic. I feel very refreshed. I just happened to glance at my phone when the stress word came up, and I thought, let me check it out. I wasn't expecting to feel relaxed myself. I thought, that's something interesting. And it was a good reminder of how important it is to slow down, to breathe, and to take time out. For me, if I combine that with being in creation and just nature and admiring how amazing creation is, that's just brilliant. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And what you're saying right now is the story of my life, because I hold space like this in every single space that I'm in, whether I'm with one of my friends, or if I'm doing a Clubhouse session, or if I'm on Facebook Live, or if I'm with my family. Like, I hold the same space. And but within that, I also have been this person, this artist, that has thought about self-care and thought about healing and music in this way for a long time, and so this is something that I'm always so happy to share. And again, that's why I was saying earlier, I can't wait till we get into conversation, because as soon as I heard you speak, I could hear a connection in between what we both are interested in, and what we find interesting, especially around these topics of self-care and emotional intelligence and stress resilience. So for you to say that, first of all, for you to say my voice, I want to thank you for that, because it's confirmation on top of what I know, who I am, and what I appreciate. I always say, when beautiful things or beautiful moments happen like that in life, I'm never surprised, but I'm always amazed. I'm never surprised because that's what I know life to be, but I'm always amazed to see the beautiful flower again, or to have the moment. So thank you for that, as far as around my voice and how it resonated with you. And for you to say, you popped in because it was an interesting question, but not know that you yourself would get a relax or a de-stress or as well, that hits me really, really deeply. Thank you for that, and thank you for sharing that with me. So beautiful.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Yes. Sherry, good morning again to you. Sherry, after that meditation, how do you feel?
I'm feeling much more relaxed, even though I'm just kind of walking around my kitchen, ironing and doing stuff. But I never thought about being able to be relaxed just by listening to music and voice. So it's very helpful.
Wow. So you all are all echoing again so much for me that has been a part of my life, and have been a part of what I'm intentionally creating, and where I'm intentionally going, and what I'm intentionally doing. I talked about it the other day. You all may have been here and heard me mention it. And if you did, you also heard me mention that I'm going to be mentioning this thing every day of my life from now on. And that is one of the things I'm getting ready to create, even out of this experience and some other things that have influenced it, is I'm getting ready to create what I think is my biggest contribution to humanity. And it's called the 5M experience. And it's an app that you tap from your home screen, just like how you do the other apps. And it's called the 5M experience. And it's based on this model here and some other of the things that I'm into. I'm in school for psychotherapy. I'm in school for psychology. I also have studied, everything from the social sciences to business to just so many things. I don't even have to self-care and all these other subjects. And so I'm building right now a portal. I'm building an experience that will be this collaboration of music, of movement, of meditation, mindfulness, of mantra. All the things that I've been doing on all the platforms, the Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, etc. But missing just the one link of needing just one place where you could access and experience it all at the same time without any other distractions. So that's in the form of the 5M experience app very soon. And I thank you all for sharing these thoughts with me, with how this meditation made and makes you feel. What I'm going to do now, which I'm so excited about, is that Well, first of all, I'm excited because my brother is in the house giving me the fist. Micah Smith, what's up, brother? I love you, man. So good to see you as always. Micah Smith, he has the fist up and it says a true Taurus. You know it, man. Can't help it. Like MJ said, even if I wanted to. Written by Stevie Wonder, if you didn't know that. Micah also says astute. Eunice says refreshed and relaxed from the deep and meditative breathing. So good. So good. So this next part of this experience, I'm going to actually play the piano for you right now. And so if you're watching me on Facebook and YouTube, you're going to see me. I'm actually going over to the piano right now. And again, if you're on Clubhouse and you want to watch me, just come on over, look for me at Aaron Hill TV. And so I'm going to share. So one of the things that I do, not one of the things, this is all that I do. This is my whole life. My whole life revolves around improvisation. Improvisation. And so I enjoy improvising, not only musically, but as far as just life in general. But one of the other places I really enjoy doing it is at the piano. So I hope that you enjoy this improvisation.
So I hope that you all enjoyed that. Thank you. Thank you, Esther. That was my original song. After the improvisation, I went into an original song of mine called Achilles Meditation. And so if you would like to experience that song, continue to, is also in the same location I was mentioning earlier, which is in my Instagram bio. You'll see my music link. And for those that are here on Facebook and YouTube, and for everybody in general, my website is aaronhilltv.com, aaronhilltv.com. And from there, you can get to all the different spaces. But that was a song that I wrote for a good friend of mine, Akilah Karima, who was someone, I'd say about maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, that wound up finding out about myself and all the things that I was doing in the community and my group, Fruition Experience and the Fruition Community, and just a number of things I've been doing over the years. And she was very much a like-minded person on the journey of health and wellness, but music and culture mainly. We were into,
everything was revolving around music and spreading good vibes and, all those kind of things through the music. And we became really good friends. And a short time after that, she passed. And right before she did, I was helping her one day with some food. And she, when I was leaving, I wound up driving and hearing a melody in my head. And so I wrote it for her. It's called Achilles Meditation. And she said, before she passed, she said that she enjoyed it. It brought her so much peace, during the times that she was dealing with her sicknesses. So that was Achilles Meditation. Thank you for allowing me to share. And I want to do a quick refresh right before I'm going to share on this self-care topic of stress resilience. And I'm going to answer this question of the day. What is stress resilience? But right before I do, is there anybody that had anything to say, wanted to share about anything? Just want to do a quick check-in.
Yeah, I wanted to share that in addition to just what you just did and listening to it, people don't realize the escape we get. We can get a vision of, we can go anywhere in our minds with just sitting there listening to the music and taking in deep breaths and everything. Some of what you were playing, I can picture myself like a ballerina and twirling. And, just it's a place of freedom.
Right.
Music can take you, it help you go anywhere you want to go.
Right.
Relieve yourself of your present state. And it just take you somewhere totally different for those moments that you get a break from reality, from what's really going on in your real life. So I just want you to know that just was so beautiful and relaxing. It took me to a few places and it was awesome, so thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much. And that really means a lot to me because, I've been doing this for years and sharing experiences like this. If you check out my YouTube channel, Aaron Hill TV, or if you check out my company, Fruition Music, I've been releasing works like this and creating moments like this, for years. And I always enjoy them, and I always enjoy the opportunity to. And I always enjoy hearing from people with how it resonates with them, what it makes them think about, what's their perspective of it. I love sharing because of learning from hearing people's experience. And I get joy out of other people's experiencing joy. If you've never heard of it before, the word is called compersion. And compersion just means that sense of joy, that state of like ridiculous celebratory joy from someone else experiencing joy in their life. So, yep, that's just who I am. And like I put on my one of my last Instagram posts, I'm just addicted to giving compliments, making people feel good, and showing love. So I appreciate that. Also want to say here that got a few. Jeffrey Allen Williams says, "Amen." Sherry Thompson says, "Very nice." I'm sorry, I didn't even click on you guys. Thanks, Jeffrey. Sherry says, "Very nice." Jeffrey says, "It's a blessing to be watching him live. I appreciate you, brother. It means a lot. Thank you." Esther Davis says, "Beautiful." Yes, I love it. I always tell people I love the double dippers. Hey, Esther. So with that, I'm going to share on this topic of answering this question. Let me go back to the question. What is stress resilience? Stress resilience is a skill. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. And I actually wrote a quote that's around the wave and the surfer, and I'm actually going to read it in a few. But you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. It's called practice for a reason. The changes take place physiologically, mentally, and emotionally over time. It takes an ongoing, sustained practice to develop this resiliency. I like it because it's like the stress muscle, you know, it's that ability to have what I call the gap, the wedge, the wedge between you and the things you go through. That wedge where you can feel your feelings, whether it's stress or, you know, any other kind of negative emotion or positive emotion. I talk about this all the time. There's a centered place where you don't let negative emotions or overwhelmingly positive experience take you from your place of peace and center as well. And we're used to talking about the negative experiences. Don't let the bad things get you down. Or don't let the bad things take you out of your place of peace. But I realized from my own personality and a little dream that I had about 10 years ago that we also don't think about that on the other side as well. And so to be able to share in that way and think about keeping us at our place of center is important. So it's called practice for a reason. This is the resiliency. The practice is to stress better. That's what we're trying to do. Stress is something that's so natural and normal. When we talk about stress and fear, and we talk about it in that unrealistic place where we're just like, yeah, you know, fear is just, it's a bad thing. And you should have no fear. It's like, okay, all right, people, let's, you know, we know what we're talking about. It's mainly debilitating fear. But a lot of times we group it all together and just like act like fear doesn't have a place or act like stress doesn't have a place. It's a very natural and normal thing. It's the reason why we can actually have a conversation right now because we could be alive right now to hear each other. And being alive in a number of ways, it requires a number of things. It requires seeing something and being so afraid of it and being justifiably afraid of it that it launches your system into fight or flight mode, or if you need to freeze because another move will let that other outside tribe member know that someone is actually there. So talking about it in a more realistic way, these things bring us to the place of not reframing it. We're not getting rid of stress. We're trying to stress better. So the practices to stress better are, number one, pause. Number two, tune into your body. Number three, reframe your relationship with stress, which is why I started with that as the first thing. And then back it up on this end. Reframe your relationship with stress and your mentality around it. Number four, open up to difficult emotions. What you resist persists. What you fight, you ignite. So you want to open up to difficult emotions. I have an original quote where I say, my religion is acceptance over expectation. And what I'm speaking about in that is acceptance allows you to open up to things. Expectation allows you to open up to things sometimes and to have good reason to expect and things work out well. But when you don't have good reason to expect, maybe because it's just the inevitables of life that we all go through and we'll all go through at one point. When you don't have a real reason to expect, but you still are in that expectation mindset, it winds up tripping you up more than helping you up. So that's why I like to reframe and rephrase things like this, because the deal is acceptance, opening up to the difficult emotion, allows you to then first relax and just settle in and accept it for what it is, so that you can help yourself to move through. You cannot move through if you are so frantic and you're just tossing everything around and you're expecting, and even if it's in the mindset of expectation, even if you're dancing around, it doesn't help you sometimes, because it actually winds up being something where it's avoiding a real reality that you need to actually face and deal with in a much different way, that's around acceptance, not expecting it to get better. So opening up to difficult emotions allows for us to settle in a bit more as far as peace. Number 5, practice self-compassion and compassion for others. Managing stress is the work of a lifetime, because stress is a natural part of life. You will get better and stress better over time. Use curiosity to consider how stress shows up for you. Questions like, how do I feel? It's the reason why I asked the question a few minutes ago after the meditation. Just real simple. And I can be over analytical at times. So I work to be really, really simple. How do you feel right now? That's it. Just how do you feel? That's one question you can ask yourself. Another question you can say is, how do I typically deal with this? Without judgment, ask yourself, do these work? Will they help me out over time in the long run? As you use curiosity to consider how stress shows up for you, you're going to ask yourself that question. Do these work? Do these activities, do these remedies work? Will they help me out over the long run? Consider and meditate on how you would like to respond to stress. Number 1, imagine yourself staying connected to your body during stressful times. Imagine yourself monitoring sensations that just flow throughout your body. Can you make the intention of maybe practicing breathing deeply when stress arises? You should set a goal to make space for whatever is happening, even if it's uncomfortable, knowing that you are building your capacity in doing so. Set a goal to make space for whatever is happening, even if it's uncomfortable, knowing that you're building your resiliency in doing so. Imagine cultivating a habit of practicing curiosity about your stressing as opposed to judgment about your stressing. Imagine that. Can you make the intention to open to different emotions when stress arises? You are building emotional resiliency when doing so. You're building stress resilience when you make the intention to open up to different emotions when stress arises. So continue to set goals. Be gentle with yourself in the process. Appreciate those small successes, which are really huge, and the steps forward. And most importantly, most importantly, take the time to thank yourself regularly for taking the time to put your self-care first. Don't take that for granted. Thank yourself. And so with that, I want to thank you. And I want to thank you for allowing me to share on this topic of what is stress resilience. And the answer is stress resilience is a skill. And we build it up using all those things. While we're hanging out, we're going to share for a few. I'm curious as to what these thoughts bring up for you. By all means, you can come to the stage if you like. If not, all good. And we're going to continue with this topic. And I'm also going to find the writing that I was telling you all about, that it was around the surfer and around the waves and all of that good stuff. So I want to do a quick refresh. I want to say hello to Kenya, and I want to say hello to, again, Sherry and Ghulam, Esther, and everybody. Jeffrey says, you make me feel better. You made me feel better as well. Jeffrey also says, Aaron Hill, you should be a doctor. So, okay, funny inside joke. That's now going to be the outside joke for now. So on my show during the week, my 7:30 to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time show, it's called the AP Morning Show. There's a few people in there who started calling me Dr. AP. And I always laugh because I was like, it reminded me back in the day when I would be in church and when someone would like be so dedicated that even if they didn't have a degree, people would start calling them doctor after a while. They would just go from like from Aaron Hill to Dr. Aaron Hill. They're like, wait a minute, when did this person become a doctor? So yeah, I'll be doctor from dedication. I'll be Dr. Dedication. I appreciate though, fam. I mean, really real talk. I mean, because it's one of those things where I have a writing. I mentioned it the other day on here. And I might even close out with that. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But it basically just speaks about, I'm not a doctor. I say I am a doctor without a degree, which means I'm definitely not a doctor. But here's what I do, or here's who I am. Here's how I share. I put up a post the other day for all those that are hanging out with me here on Clubhouse or even on Facebook. If you go to my Instagram and you look at the third row in the middle, I think it is, you'll see a picture of me looking up with my eyes closed. And at the bottom, it says, I'm in school for psychotherapy to become a professional empath. So my goal, and it's always been my goal, is to study these subjects. And I put these things together in the type of career that is right here. So thanks a lot for that, fam. And Jeffrey says, Alicia Keys sings of this too. Wow. Esther says, I've learned recently we're in the same state and know some of the same people. Oh, super cool. Super cool, Esther. Yes. So again, we're going to hang out for a few more minutes and we're going to continue to talk about this topic of stress resilience. Stress resilience and how it is a skill. All right. So with that, I want to refresh the room. I want to say, if you would like to share, I'd love to hear, Esther, Ghulam, Sherry, love to hear your thoughts on what this, the things that I've said, what it resonated for you.
I love your quote. You can't stop the wave, but you can learn to surf. Is this your quote or you got it from somewhere? Because I'd love to use that.
Yeah, so, no problem at all. So that particular quote, I heard from somewhere, but the one that I'm going to share shortly is my original quote. But yes, that's just such a good one. You can't, it's just, yeah, you just have to accept. It really goes back to acceptance to me. It's just that acceptance of like knowing, oh, there's certain things that I can't change. It's one of the things I love about the Serenity Prayer. Now, I could, after the first couple lines, I could kind of don't need the rest of the serenity prayer. But those first couple lines, the grant me the ability to be aware of the things that I can change, the things that I can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference. Oh my goodness. Yes. So yes, Ghulam, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf.
Yes, I really love that image. And I recently had a client for my grief recovery who said that she had boxed up all her sad emotions in a box and put it on a high shelf. And I so resonated with what you said, that unless we're willing to explore and be curious and face those emotions, they just sit there.
Right.
And eventually, they're going to cause more pain because they've had time to mature and fester. And, they're not going to go away by just being kept on the shelf in a box.
Right.
So really resonated with what you said about, how we need to learn to be curious and open to see, what is there and how we're feeling right now and what are our continuous responses. And I often share that 10% of the situation is what has happened to us, and 90% of the situation is what we make it mean.
And
wow. How we choose to respond. That when we take responsibility for that part, it can make a huge difference.
Wow.
And we stop feeling like we're just the victim of circumstances to, as you say, having goals and outcomes, rather than trying to fix the blame of why it happened and who caused it. And we're focusing on, well, what do I want instead, and what are steps I can take to get there. So I really resonated with a lot of what you said. I also feel it's really, I heard in a preacher a very useful thing about emotions are good friends, but they're poor masters. So
emotions are good friends, but poor masters. Wow.
Yeah. So when we're feeling an emotion and we take time to see it as a friend that's either warning us or alerting us or alerting us to the fact that something isn't right and needs our attention, or something is coming up that we're not prepared for, or that could prove risky.
Right.
But if we take time to listen to that emotion and then see how we can respond. So I met a lady on Clubhouse recently who in an accident had broken her back. And also her boyfriend had died. And she said, I could have given up, but I decided no. I'm going to be on a quest to make the best of who I am. And she said she decided that in her wheelchair, she was going to go rock climbing.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
She said, I was at the bottom and I started to feel really anxious.
Wow.
So I asked myself, what is it that's causing me to feel anxious? And I realized that I was worried that the one rope that would be holding me, if it broke, that I would be in real danger. And so that emotion was trying to, warn me and alert me to that. So I decided to act by asking them to put 3 ropes so that if one went, I felt at least there were backups, and then my anxiety went. So sometimes we need to listen to our emotions to see what, actually, if we see them as our friend, and we and because it's like a toddler, the more you ignore them, the louder they get.
The louder they get. That's it. That's it. That's so true. The louder, the more things come flying at you.
And you get into overwhelm.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you are.
There were so many things that you said that really resonate with the way I think about it. And this particular thing about how do I typically deal with this? How do I react? Because sometimes we're unaware of the unhelpful self-talk that we can have. So recognizing to change that for things that are more empowering. And sometimes even recognizing that we have a belief that's limiting or a belief that's empowering.
You know what's funny about what you're saying? I everything resonates with me about what you're saying. It's interesting, because I pay close attention to words and And it's interesting because you said sometimes just now, and I'm like, it's interesting because it's literally all the time. Like, it's literally just the journey. The journey is the destination is actually just this journey, of continuing to have this kind of practice, continuing to have things that bother you, and then you deal with them one way, and then you're able to see, does this work or does this not, based on the information that I've had, prior to now, based on how I was raised, how do I feel? And that's why, above everything, this is why I love having conversations. Thanks, Mom. And I love asking questions. Thanks, Mom. And I love learning. Thanks, Mom. Because for many things like this subject, it's a deep and wide subject, and it's not a black and white thing. It's a gradient. There are many different factors that relate to how we feel. There's such a complex system that goes into every emotion, every feeling. And you realize that you get better at understanding them and how to navigate by having conversations, by asking questions, by bouncing ideas off of each other, and by learning together. So it's amazing. So thanks so much, Ghulam, for sharing that. I'm curious, Esther and Sherry, I'm curious how this topic, stress resilience as a skill, how it resonated with you.
Well, as I said before, just being able to relax and everything. But I was thinking while, even while Ghulam was speaking, and I thought about how so many people, when they're in a certain state or they're feeling something, the first thing they do is reach for a pill and to relieve that. But all they're doing is covering up and still not, they've stolen opportunity to really check within yourself to see what's going on. And like you talked about the emotions, when you learn, the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about your emotions, the more you'll learn where to put them and how to use different things to get through a situation. And so the next time you might feel something, you might know where to go instead of covering it up with a pill or something. So it's just, I think about so many people who are just not in touch with self, and they're the first thing they do is reach for something to cover it up, and they're just stealing the opportunity for themselves to be free of a lot of what they're dealing with. So this is just such, it's really good. I'm really enjoying this.
Wow.
I really love what Esther just shared. I think that's really powerful, that it's pain plus reflection that leads to growth.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't take time to reflect on what's happening and how we can grow through what's happening, not just go through what's happening.
Right. It's funny you said that. I like to say growing gains instead of growing pains, because even though it may be painful, I mean, the thing is the yin and yang of it all. That's literally what it is. I talk about this in the form of innovators and people who are about upholding structure. It's like you need both archetypes. You need the yin and the yang. You need the person that's about not keeping things the same, forging ahead to blaze new paths and find new information, seeking, even if everything says that this is all there is to it. You need the person saying, like, no, we got to seek forward and innovate. Just as much as when that person seeks forward and innovates and they find something new, now you need a person who upholds structure to uphold that and to keep that in place. Because it makes sense. It's on that part of the cycle. But then at some point that becomes obsolete, or that becomes something that becomes old, and we need to move ahead. And then now you need an innovator to knock that structure holder out of the way, or work with them to pass the baton, so more so to speak. And so I say that because it makes me just think about the cycle of this whole thing. It makes me think about emotions and how we need to go through things. We need to take things for granted in order to not take them for granted. We need to know that the stove is hot by touching it, to then know how to better not be burned by, and to better cook, actually. It's almost like looking at things from a different perspective. Like, you could look at, cooking as, cooking, or like a professional who knows how not to get burned. In audio engineering, we would think about recording, but our engineering teachers taught us that we were professional, like firefighters. Like, we would be putting out fires, we'd be reverse engineering, So anywho, I'm going off on a tangent, but the yin and yang of it all is just what really fascinates me with this. And I definitely appreciate what you said, Esther, too. And thank you, Ghulam, for adding to that. Sherry, do you have any thoughts when it comes to this topic of stress resilience as a skill?
I think I definitely agree with what you, Ghulam and Esther, were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely, especially as I've gotten older and kind of modeled myself after my mom to a certain extent on how to handle bad situations and not let them tear me down.
Right.
Use different techniques. I think what I do have to keep reminding myself, and I like that you remind us, is to breathe.
Right.
Because a lot of things that I do is like I play, of course, I play piano.
Right.
As a stress reliever. I also...
We got 3 piano players in the room. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Esther,
So
Sherry.
And then I also sing in the choir, and sometimes just going to mass, to church, that is
right.
a helpful stress reliever. And actually, that's the only reason I can listen to you today is we have a huge snowstorm here in Nebraska.
Oh.
So I kind of skipped out. I think our mass got canceled.
Yeah. Okay.
So now I get to listen.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Those are, I think, everything you talked about resonated. And it's just kind of like I have to remind myself to do those, so it's helpful. Your guided instructions to do that.
Thank you so much. So, I want to, first of all, again, appreciate you all for your words, because they're really affirming, and they're affirming in this experience. It's just so fun to be able to relate on this topic, because again, every conversation like this, you grow from it. You become more resilient from it. I'm going to share with you all what I was talking to you about as far as the wave, and the quote that Ghulam appreciated. And here's my quote that relates to that. Those that accept evolution survive and grow. Those that don't. A wave can come crashing down on you, or it can be the momentum under your surfboard to ride high to success. Either way, though, the choice is yours, whether you're a surfer or not. So, same thing. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf. So I'm going to have to actually put this back up on my Instagram, so that we can share this, and so that other people can see this. And so I shared this on November 11th, 2020. So Ghulam, that was the quote that I wanted to tell you around the wave that I thought you might appreciate. And I also want to say, yes, go ahead.
I just want to say there's so much I've appreciated about, it's morning where you are, it's afternoon where I am. But I'm so glad I just randomly decided to check you out. I have seen you in other rooms, but we've not had a chance to connect.
Yeah.
And I do hope that we do have a chance to connect and have some further discussions, because a lot of what you say resonates so much. And I noticed on your bio you say you're an atheist, but
yes,
I have a strong feeling that, I mean, you may not appreciate this, but
I appreciate everything.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
I have a strong feeling that your talents are God-given and that they've been given to you to bring healing to the world.
I totally agree.
Yes.
I believe that.
I was going to say, and we're all on a journey. I've been on another time maybe I can share with you, but I've been on an amazing faith journey where I've gone from believing in one faith to no faith to really coming to faith. So
I love it.
I really appreciate that everybody's on their own journey, and I respect their views and where they are. But I just somehow felt the urge to say that, and I don't know what that means, and I don't know where you will be in the journey.
Well, I can tell you one thing it means. And that is, if you would like to, I would love to have even a room here on Clubhouse where we just talk about it, and you can ask me any questions you like, and we could talk about it. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. So that would be lovely. Yeah. So let's do that. Oh, that's great. And this is what I love about this experience. You know, every experience that I have, it's always to meet new people and to be able to share and talk and have great conversations. I also want to do a quick refresh and say hello to Bashir. Thanks so much for hanging out, and welcome to Clubhouse in general. Welcome. I hope that you're having a good experience so far, just in Clubhouse in general. And I hope that you are having a good experience so far in this room. So thanks for hanging out. So I want to share, actually, this is another one. So Ghulam, I think you're going to love this one too. And everybody, I think you're going to love this quote, because if you look at my avatar, you see that it says, "Be a living palm tree," over my head. Be a living palm tree. So this is a writing that I wrote around this same topic of stress resilience and this stress resilience being a skill. But I put it in the form of talking about our beloved trees. So here we go. Be a living palm tree. The only consistency in life is change. Be like the palm tree and bend with the changing winds. Bending keeps you from breaking. Change sometimes comes slowly, other times swiftly. The best thing to do is to take on the character of the palm tree. If you flow or bend with the changes of life, you'll be doing the only realistic thing that's key to survival. Bending absorbs the tension of change. Many say that women innately have this ability due to their natural genetic makeup. And that many is me, myself, and I. A key ingredient to birthing and nurturing. At any rate, any of us can benefit from this perspective or mode of thinking. When changes happen in our society, job, home life, etc., learning to accept the fact that change many times means evolution, works in your benefit. Though it may be rough, evolution is always geared towards giving the evolved the more equipping characteristics for the next level of survival and the next phase of the journey. So be a living palm tree. The only consistency in life is change. Be like the palm tree and bend with the changing winds. Bending keeps you from breaking. And so I'm curious if that resonates with you. I'm gonna let's see here. Got a bunch of comments. brother Jeffrey, you are hanging out, bro. Jeffrey, you done already told me I should be a doctor, and now you done just made my whole weekend, just go to the next level. Jeffrey says, in life, there's a yin and a yang. It is balance. I choose to be good in the world. Like Michael Jackson, I want to be good. All you need is love. Even if a family member is in prison, let them know you love them. Jesus says, where your heart is, there I'm also. Like the Seal song, Prayer for the Dying. Bro, I appreciate, this is what I'm talking about. Look, if you see how he typed this, bro, this is how you know. Okay, this is how you know you need to be on Clubhouse. Right here, bro. Download the app. If you don't have an iPhone, I might start doing iPhone giveaways. If y'all see how Jeffrey typed all of that message in like 4,000 messages, bro, if you come over here, we can just hang out, bro. I would love to hear your voice. Now, I appreciate you, bro. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And I appreciate that, bro. So I'm curious, Esther, Ghulam, Sherry, be a living palm tree. I thought about this, I don't know, 7 years ago. I was thinking about the strong oak tree. In fact, recently, if y'all haven't seen my my oak tree videos, they're on my Instagram, they're on my TikTok, they're everywhere, Facebook, YouTube. I just saw 2 of the biggest oak trees I've ever seen in life. Tallahassee, good times. I'll show you these big ass oak trees. I mean, ridiculous. But, with that, 7 years ago, I'm thinking about the oak tree. I'm thinking about the strengths. Everything has its strengths and its weaknesses. And I'm looking at this strong bark. I'm looking at this thing that's like damn near impenetrable to certain levels, right? But this thing is strong. A mild wind comes, there's nothing for this thing. This oak tree is like, what? Did somebody breathe on me? Like, that's lightweight. You continue to add the wind, it continues to get stronger. Oak tree's like, nothing. Like, I'm an oak tree. But if you advance those winds up to a certain level, the oak tree will break because it doesn't have the ability to bend. So it holds things in. It stays when it really should emote. So the palm tree, on the other hand, can absorb the tension. So I love that. That was just kind of one of those downloads, one of those things. I'm just like, wow. So I want to be a palm tree. Do y'all want to be a palm tree?
Yes. And that to say that's again looking into all the things that we can search inward for, and that's to gain those things that will build up our strength.
Right.
So no matter what comes into our lives, then we can bend with it and then bring back up into who we really are. So
right.
I appreciate that, because it's like we have to learn that no matter how difficult things can get, that we still have the opportunity to get back up. And
yeah.
So yeah, I definitely want to be like a palm tree.
Yeah. It lets me know that being strong being strong doesn't mean not being flexible. Yeah, thank you. Sherry, go ahead.
That's what I was agreeing. I mean, because certain things you can't change what's going to happen to you in certain times in your life.
Exactly.
Someone different expressed that depending on what the situation is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sherry, you sound a little far away.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay, that sounds better.
Okay. I have.
Oh, there we go.
Headphones.
Oh, wow, you sound amazing.
Okay. So yeah, now I know these headphones do not work well.
Oh.
But yeah, I think when we encounter different experiences, how we adjust to them is very much like being able to be a palm tree, as opposed to just being rigid and saying, well, this is how I grew up doing it, and I'm not going to move.
Right.
And that's being rigid like an oak tree.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Ghulam, does this resonate anything for you? I'm thinking about something else, but before I go there, I wanted to just check in.
Oh, definitely. I think that's sometimes the problem, that we kind of think that we have to kind of be strong, and we lose that flexibility. So when I look at the palm tree, I'm just amazed, really, the way that I know our views differ on this, but the way that creation is so creative, and that kind of really helps me think and be grateful for the Creator for providing so many lessons that we're surrounded by every day.
Yes.
My husband's family is originally from Goa, and so palm trees are very, very common there. Common there. And
so
I love it. I love the fact that you've actually put it as part of your picture.
Yeah.
To remind you on a daily basis that that's what we need to be like. We need to, like you said, the waves will come, but we need to be able to learn to surf them. In the same way, the winds will blow. We need to be able to have that flexibility to adapt and adjust and bounce back.
Yes. Ghulam, I so thank you for that. I tell you. So one thing I'm gonna one thing that I and I'm laughing because it's something you just said, where you said, I know our views differ. And it's interesting because in our conversation, what I think I may convince you of is that our views don't differ as much as you might think. So
that's exactly what I said. So that's why I find it quite amusing that you said I am an atheist. That sounds very definite, but you're so in tune with creation and the sense of what life is really about.
It's because the two are actually mutually exclusive, even though I, for years, definitely saw them as one. And I understand and I can appreciate how for a Ghulam, and others, how they can see it as one. And so that's, we'll have fun. Here's what I was going to say to you, right? So I have a quote that says serendipity plus intention equals life. And it was the way you stumbled in, or the way you said you stumbled in, and these kind of things. I'm like, this is what I love about this moment and these moments, because I'm knowing that each one of these things resonates you. As soon as I heard the first couple words out of your mouth, I'm like, oh, I know this person. I know this person very well. Even though this is our first time talking and I get a chance to say hello to someone who I know in the form of Ghulam. It's so exciting. I'm going to share something with you that that comes out of this thought. And it's dealing with it's on the same topic of change or accepting change, but I call this one when it's time for a change. And it resonates with something you just said, Ghulam, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. Time for a change, March 13th, 2019. If you continue to do what you always did, you'll certainly get what you always got. Here's the funny thing about that. Sometimes that's terrible. Sometimes that's absolutely amazing. Just depends on what the thing is that you're getting. Either way, though, when it's time for a change, you've got to realize that a dead horse has 1,000% consistency at getting a rider nowhere. So along with that bending with the wind, along with us being mutable and continuing to build our resilience, go ahead and take that next step, that first step in many cases, toward a change. What do you have to lose? This first step may be the first forward motion you've had in a long time. So go ahead and take that first step. Your feet will thank you later for moving when you did. And so on that tip, everyone, I want to round out this experience by first saying, again, I am so excited to be here with you. I'm so grateful for you to come through this mechanism of live stream. And can you all would you have believed one day in 1985 if I told you that, well, let's go more 95, because I could even bring it more recent. If I told you in 95 that this concept of three-way calling was going to turn into someone was just going to put a spin on it and just allow you to drop into three-way calls of anybody around the world talking about various subjects. And in addition, you be able to just listen in or participate if you like, and you'd meet people that even though you've never met them before in real life, you know them because you are them. You know your kind. And it takes one to know one. And that's what makes me so excited about this environment, but also to have these types of experiences. So I just want to say thank you for saying yes. Thank you for the intention. And I'm thankful for the serendipity and the intention that brings together this thing called life, that has some things in it that we enjoy and we like and we celebrate, and things that we don't and put us in another state. But in acceptance of it all, because what the hell else is there to do? Anything else is denial. In acceptance of that being what it is, I'm grateful when I have mirror expressions like you. And so I want to say thank you to Esther, thank you to Gulam, thank you to Sherry, thank you to Jeffrey, thank you to Eunice, thank you to Micah, my brother. We got to get together real soon, bro. Oh, Micah, bro, I've been talking about it in this experience and in every experience. Y'all going to see Micah Smith real soon. He's my good brother. He's in my group Fruition Experience. You can see it on my YouTube channel. We've made so much music together, so much life together. And now with this 5M Experience app that I'm coming out with, one of the biggest things that I do, which is not only create music like this, that's around piano and soft meditation, but also music that incorporates other instrumentation. I've been creating music for inspiration for years, and now with this app, I'll be able to create loops for you to create positive loops and positive narratives, positive experiences, not from going through a platform and finding me and liking my post and finding the video, having to follow a link, but just opening up your home screen and just tapping my front door, which is the 5M Experience by Aaron Hill. Micah, we're going to be making some music for this real soon, bro, because everything we've made goes into this environment as loops, positive loops for people to attune their day to. So again, I want to thank you. And if you like, again, any of the music of this experience, is all in my music tab that's in my Instagram bio. And you'll see Breath of Life there. This right here is Achilles Meditation. This was the one that I played live for you all earlier. And if you want to experience this experience from the top, all you got to do is go to my YouTube channel, my Facebook channel, and you could so do that. And if you like to continue to help me with these kind of experience, holding these spaces, you can see the information that's in my bio as well. I want to say thanks to Alex for stopping by, and again to the rest of the family here. I really appreciate you all, and I want to be able to make this a part of a great day for you today as we go forward. It's before 12 o'clock, and we've already covered so much territory. So I appreciate you all. And so I want to say you can open up your microphones and let's just have our last goodbyes for the day.
I just want to say something really quick. Whenever you guys have that conversation, I too, when I was looking at your bio.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm sorry. I apologize for cutting you off. Sorry. When we have that conversation, you want us to let you know?
Yes, please.
Perfect. And here's the other thing I forgot to mention too. Before that time, and this is going to be good prerequisite, because you all will learn like about my entire journey. If you go to my YouTube channel, it's Aaron Hill TV. Everywhere you go online, it's the same name. It's Aaron Hill TV, no matter what platform you're on. On Instagram, it's .tv, but you don't have to worry about typing it in. You can just go there from here. But if you go to if you go to my YouTube channel, Aaron Hill TV, there's a playlist on there that's called Religion / Spirituality / Philosophy, I think it is. I tell my whole story on there, and you'll see it in the form of different videos, not only videos that's documenting my journey and talking about my story, but then also videos that are experiential. I even have videos in church, playing, and before I'm playing and while I'm playing, I'm talking about the ideas and where I used to feel this way, now I feel differently, in this way. And it's like a whole experience. So go to my YouTube channel and just look at that playlist, and yeah, you'll see, you'll see that. And then what'll happen is from there, when we have the conversation, like, you'll be way more in the know, and then that'll be good. So everything won't be from scratch, and then we can have a real good conversation. So yeah, that's what's up. So Ghulam, definitely do that, and Esther. And
that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it? I'm wondering if I will get lost in YouTube. Is there a link you're able to send us?
Yes. So in fact, let me do this right now. If you give me,
really helpful.
Yep, no problem. Thank you for mentioning. In fact, I will go to my, and see, again, this is why I'm so excited about my app, because soon, for everything, I'll just be able to say, hey, just tap on the 5M app, and then it'll take you right to that place. All right, so here we go. Going down I'm gonna let you all hear another song too while I'm playing this. This song that I'm gonna play for you. In fact, I'm gonna play something with some other instruments in it. This is called Truth Meditation, and it features my good friend Akilah Raphael on Steel Pond. Wrote this in 2013. Sorry, everybody. Thanks for being patient. I've got a number of playlists. Okay, here we go. Got it. All right. Copy link. All right. And almost there. Coming back to Clubhouse. Hello, Natasha. Thank you for hanging out. All right, Ghulam. I'm gonna send this. Let's see. Profile. Okay, Ghulam, I just put it in your DM, and Esther, before you leave, just so that way I realize Clubhouse will have a better way to search through your friends soon, so that way you can just pull them up when you're not online, but I just put it in yours. And Sherry, I'm gonna tuck it in yours too.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Profile. Okay, you have Twitter, and boom, got it. This is beautiful. Okay, so yeah, so I put it there. I can't wait. So there are 9 videos there. In fact, I got a few more that actually you'll see there. If you click on the videos today and start watching them, what you're going to see over probably the course of like the next hour or so is like several others update, because I have certain videos that automatically go into playlists when I create them, and I created some other videos too. So as you're looking at them, whether it's over the next course of days and until I see you again, you'll see others update there too. And it says, and that playlist is called My Take on Religion and Spirituality. So I can't wait. Oh, Natasha's coming up. Hey, Natasha, I want to say good morning to you. I don't know if you meant to raise your hand. I will invite you just to check and see.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am wonderful.
Sorry, I just broke into my friend's house.
It is all good. Sometimes that's what you got to do, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I really do. And I hope that you have a great one.
You too, sir.
Peace. Good times, peeps. So, these are things, and I love being able to share this. So you'll see that update. Go ahead and check that out. And so the next meeting, so that way we can catch up again, would be Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10:30 a.m. I'm here for my morning show, which is called the AP Morning Show, where we stand here as accountability partners every morning. And then, of course, the 5M Fellowship every Sunday, 9 to 11 a.m. under normal circumstances. And so, thank you all so much. And I really honor you for being here with me this entire experience. And it means a lot that you got a lot out of it.
Well, thank you, Aaron, for hosting these. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing the videos.
Yes. And thank you, Esther, for subscribing to my YouTube. Take care, everybody. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.